Let's be honest, the majority of farming games are the same game, but it's just in a different swatch. So instead of wasting your time and trying to find the best ones, I've rounded up over 20 farming games that actually deserve a spot in your library. Better yet, they actually deserve your time. I'm ranking them between beginner-friendly, intermediate, and advanced so you can find the right fit for you. And I'm also calling out a few games that are absolutely not worth your time. Starting with our beginner-friendly picks, Wanderstop is one with an emotional story. And it's beginner-friendly because you don't have to worry about things like fertilizer, breeding animals, and all of that. It's more so a 12-hour campaign where you play as this fallen warrior who ends up in a loop. Without giving too much of the story away, this game is all about you taking a moment to relax in our life that is always on the go. You're going to plant different fruit trees, which you can also crossbreed, and it's pretty easy to unlock all of them. Then you're gonna dry up some tea leaves and use this majestic machine to combine those dried tea leaves with different fruits to create specialties that evoke a different emotion when you drink them. The goal is to make these teas for the various customers who come by while you slowly learn about why the heck are you stuck in this never-ending loop. I love this game so much. I have a before you buy for it that I can leave for you below the like button, but I think it deserves your time. Now, it took me a while to finally be able to play Wildflowers because it came out at a time where my life was in turmoil, you know, everything was happening in Lebanon. Wanted to leave, move to the UK, and I kind of couldn't get to play it, but once I did, man oh man, did I not know that I was signing up for this amazing journey. You're guiding Tara, who just returned to Fairhaven to take care of her grandmother, and little does she know her grandmother is part of a witch coven. So what starts as simply taking care of the farm quickly transforms into mingling with various bachelors and bachelorettes, taking care of barn animals, and mixing up potions to help your farm and other day-to-day activities. I love that this is fully voice acted, and even though it looks like a mobile game because it was a mobile game for the longest time, Studio Dry Dog ported it to different platforms and it's properly optimized. Mobile farming games can not only be difficult to port because their controls are just so well made for the phone that it makes it difficult to then play it on things like the PC or Nintendo Switch, but oftentimes they're also just boring and bland. I'm looking at you, Harvest Moon Home Sweet Home Special Edition, but Wildflowers is the complete opposite. I appreciate how much love and effort the developers have put into this by adding an abundance of updates that expanded the content. It's a whimsical journey that I love and I highly recommend, and I feel like it's pretty easy to get into. The only thing you should be aware of is that progressing some friendships and romances can be locked behind what is called a trigger event. So you might need to use the wiki to figure out how to move forward. You know, where should you be at what time so that you can trigger the event and progress further. But it never made me feel like there were any gameplay features that were too difficult to understand if you're a beginner. If you like exploration and town building thrown together into a mix, then I think you're gonna like Grow Song of the Evertree. You're trying to bring the Evertree back to its former glory, so you're crafting these world seeds using alchemy to create new worlds with their own unique characteristics, and then you're gonna help rejuvenate them. While you're at it, you're also going to build a town using a variety of buildings and structures and allow new community members to work in these facilities because they have dream jobs and they want you to help them fulfill them. You can listen to their stories, help them with their requests, and then go explore different ruins, caves, and secret areas. There are also some puzzles to solve, but I gotta say the seeds that you grow can start to feel a little bit repetitive. Otherwise, for some reason, I'm so attached to this game and how calming it makes me feel, and then the pop of color also makes me just very nostalgic for my childhood somehow. Now we're moving to intermediate games. These ones are gonna be a little bit more complex. We're starting to also introduce things like combat, but I think you'll be okay either if you're familiar with farming games, or I don't know, some people that I've known, they've never even played video games and then they play one of these and that's where their passion all starts. And I'm gonna start with Story of Seasons Grand Bazaar. This one is one of my favorite games from Marvelous, and I feel like it's the perfect introduction to intermediate farming games. You've got your seasons and seasonal crops, and by the way, there's no combat here, so don't worry about that just yet. And you also have different windmills spread across the town that you're going to use, along with the various resources you grow, forage, mine, and gather to craft new materials. I think this game can get overwhelming if it gets overwhelming overwhelming for you, I do have a tips and tricks video to help you with it, as well as a daily routine that you can use to help you get started. But I feel like it's still accessible in the intermediate area. It's not that advanced. And while you have things like hurricanes to deal with, they're very easy to avoid if you put up the windscreens. Then everything that you've worked on during the week can be taken to the Saturday Bazaar, where you play through this cute little mini game to sell your items. You're gonna make a lot of profit and help the town climb up through its ranks. And as you do that, you're gonna see that now there are new stalls that are opening up, so you can buy new outfits. You can also get new animals to breed and herd. Of course, you've also got a wide range of bachelors and bachelorettes, and it's fairly easy to track their likes and dislikes because the game pretty much tells you all of them right off the bat. If you want to progress your relationships, there's no trigger event that you have to worry about. The game lets you know exactly what to do and when to do it. It's also partially voice acted, so some cutscenes are and others are not. I think this one is worth it even full price and not even ever on a sale, so definitely try it out. And right after that, I would easily recommend Rune Factory Guardians of Azuma. It's another one of my favorite games from Marvelous. It's so funny, both of these released last year. And in this one, we're introduced to combat on top of all our other activities. You have enemies to take down. You also have party members that can join you as you go and explore the world. And some of the monsters can be tamed, so you can ride them or even bring them back to one of your barns so they can give you produce. This is one of the first farming games in this list where you have different areas to use. Each area is going to belong to one of the 4 seasons, and you can build a town in each one and hire villagers to help you. It's a two-way street though, as you need to take care of these villagers by providing them with shelter and food, and in return, they can help mine ore for you, chop wood, help on the farm, fish, and do other activities. The real bread and butter for me though is the story as well as the characters that you're gonna meet along the way. The story keeps you on your toes, and hey, there's even dragons in here. On top of that, there's a wide range of bachelors and bachelorettes, as well as the friends that I've mentioned. They all have plenty of requests for you to complete, and there's so much story and lore to discover about them. And the best part is that just like Story of Seasons Grand Bazaar, you don't have to knock your head against a wall trying to figure out how to progress relationships. The game sets up different bonding quests to show you what to do next. It's also fully voice acted, and I think this one is worth full price, not even on a sale, and you're gonna have a blast with it. But what if you just want to lose yourself and be in this cute world and play as a cute flipping cat? Well, Snacko has overwhelming positive reviews on Steam. It's for a good reason, and I'm so happy I waited for it to leave early access before finally diving into it. You and your friend end up stranded on an island, and what do you know? You become the savior by helping rebuild the town from the ground up. While you're doing that, you'll set up different shops and hire some of the many villagers who arrive on the island to run these shops. I'm a massive fan of having quests in my farming games. I just don't like when my games do not have any navigation at all and I'm just like confused. And this game is known for how many various quests you have. You've got quests with the friends you make, guild quests that unlock new crafting and cooking recipes, as well as a variety of town requests and even more. You can also romance characters here, which I personally find a little bit weird because not only am I an animal, but I'm also romancing animals. I don't know, I feel like it's a bit weird. But if you like that, you do you, boo. It's none of my business. The option is there for you. I also appreciate how flexible the building system is. You can snap objects to the grid, rotate them, and dye them different colors. You know, a lot of farming games have building restrictions, so it's really nice to see this game moving in the right direction and letting us be more creative. This is yet another one that I recommend full price. It's worth every penny. This next one I played for a while, then I got distracted. I don't know if you're like me, but I'm always like, squirrel, new game, squirrel, new game. I'm squirreling around from game to game, so this is why I stopped playing it. But I finally got to play it again recently, and I'm so happy that I did. And when I did, I rediscovered my love for it, and I was like, yeah, this is why I love this game. As an RPG gamer, having games that give me freedom to explore and reward me for it means a lot. And in Wild Mender, you get just that. Basically, you're starting your own desert garden. Money isn't a big issue here, but water is the best and most scarce resource. And the sun is gonna be your biggest enemy. Anytime you go exploring while the sun is out, your health is gonna drop so quick. There's combat in this game, and the beginning can feel pretty difficult and intimidating. However, because you can tinker with the settings to make it as easy or as challenging as you want it to be, I put it in the intermediate list. But if it was as difficult as it is without tinkering with it and being able to change the settings, then I would have said this is more like on the advanced side. The desert is massive, and as you manage your food and water intake, you're gonna uncover different mysteries and journey across the temples of the gods where you'll learn about their stories. You also have various skill sets, so here you're gonna be rediscovering arcane magic and unlocking powerful weapons and tools and abilities. If you like to play with friends, you can also do that here. It's nice to see how what starts as a small little pond with a tiny garden around it can quickly expand into this large sanctuary over time. And because the worlds are procedurally generated, my playthrough, your friend's playthrough are all going to be different. This next one has gotten a lot of hate, and even when I've played Rune Factory Guardians of Azuma, I still think Rune Factory is incredible and I will keep on recommending it till the end of time. The performance on the Nintendo Switch is not the best, but surprisingly it never triggered my motion sickness. With that out of the way, performance out of the way, I think the story was interesting and I really liked the villagers as well as the bachelors and bachelorettes. The world is a little bit too open and empty at times, but if you're willing to look away, there are so many gameplay features here that make the game feel still so grand and so fulfilling. It's also pretty easy to keep track of your relationships and what to do next to progress them. You have combat with different weapons to use and monsters to tame. This entry plays on the idea of farming on the backs of dragons, and farming can get a little bit more complicated than Guardians of Azuma because you can track things like the soul quality, and overall you have a wide range of tools that you can craft and lots of skills to progress. I feel like the quality of life features added in this entry also made it such an easy entry to get into the franchise for the first time, and I think it's worth your cash, and if you don't want to pay full price for it, maybe try it on a sale. The next one has my heart. I have been begging, pleading for Square Enix to give us the next entry into the franchise, but Dragon Quest Builders 2, what an amazing game. In this RPG, you find yourself as the new builder who miraculously knows how to build. This world's villain has taken away the ability for people to come up with ideas and craft them. So this is why your role is so grand here. You'll be moving from area to area and helping the villagers reach whatever objective they might have. You also have combat, but it's pretty easy and straightforward. And how this game works is you place down a blueprint and then you can craft different objects, and you're gonna see that it looks a lot like Minecraft. So you can place blocks down and make different rooms. I like that it is driven by a storyline as well, but then you also have this sandbox area which you can build to your heart's content, be it in solo mode or with your friends. There's so much for you to explore, and even the way that you explore is so flexible. You can climb, you can fly, you can swim, you can dive, and farming is pretty easy, and you use it to make sure that your villagers have enough food to eat. I am always recommending this game at any time that I can, and I will continue to do so. Please, if you've never played it, do yourself a service and try it out. Epic Chef is another game that makes it onto a lot of my lists because not only do I feel like it's very underrated, but I also appreciate that it tries doing something new. You arrive at this mansion, which is supposed to be your new home, but little did you know that it's actually haunted. So you're quickly gonna realize that whenever you farm there, things tend to grow at a really fast pace. Now your goal is to become a chef and open your own restaurant. So you have crops to grow, and then you take part in this mini game every time you want to create a recipe. I gotta say, cooking can be a bit challenging because you're playing around with things like aromas, and then you have these food competitions which can be pretty difficult to succeed in. But the game is humorous, it's leaning more towards dark humor, which I'm personally a fan of, but I know not everyone will appreciate. I think it's silly, it's just stupid, that's kind of the point here. And generally I like games that don't take themselves too seriously, let games be games. Ever After Falls is another game that I don't see on a lot of people's radar, and it's mostly because you might have not heard about it before, so that makes sense, right? You wake up only to discover that your previous life was nothing than guess what? A simulation. You have no memory of what this place is, but you have your own little farm to go to. From there, you can farm, fish, and take part in battles inside dungeons. And if you love automation, there are a few drones that can help you out. So they're kind of like your companions. Instead of, taming monsters like you do in Rune Factory, here you have these automated drones that assist you. This is yet another silly game. It's pretty straightforward though, but because it includes different dungeons that test your skills, and because it doesn't explain a lot of the stuff, I would say it's not really beginner friendly. Immortal Life is one of the very few farming games that surprisingly did a great job at introducing a fun cooking system, but it's not the main thing that you're gonna be doing here. It's just like a little thing that you take part in. And I don't know about you, but I have been dying for a good cooking game. So when I saw even it's like it takes a little part in this, I was like, yes, I need more. So here you're helping your brothers and sisters turn your settlement into a prosperous village. You can hone your skills to help you on your farm, but also in combat. And you can obtain different enchanted tools that make things easier. There are various mythical creatures you need to take down, some of which can be a little bit challenging. You can also build your own home and help establish different facilities for the village itself. What I really love about this game is its addictive gameplay loop. It's so fun and very good at getting its hooks on you once the ball gets rolling. And you'll even use magic to help you in your day-to-day activities. I sing Coral Island's praises all the time because I am in so much awe about how much love Stairway Games have towards their game, but also the community. Even though the game isn't fully completed yet, it is out of early access, and from my understanding, that had to do a lot with the publisher issues that they've had to deal with. Still, the amount of love they've poured into this game and the content that they continue to bring is something I would love to see more developers aspire to do. You can immediately see how beautiful the game is, and there are so many bachelors and bachelorettes to get to know. And what I really love here is how interconnected all the villagers are. It just makes you feel like you're part of this close-knit community. You also have this goddess temple that you can donate to, which in turn lets you unlock different things. Some are gonna be simple items, others can be like makers or even new areas. That said, I'm still very disappointed that the savannah, it was a complete letdown. Like, I put in so much effort to unlock it and it was not what I expected. Apart from that, one of my favorite activities in this game is diving and cleaning the ocean. It feels so therapeutic. You also get to meet the merfolk, uncover an entire storyline about them as well, and eventually unlock a farm underwater with its own crops and barn animals. I personally like the part where I'm farming, on land, but even with 120 hours, it looks like I'm gonna come back to this game soon because we're getting new updates, especially for our romantic relationships as well as our kids growing. Even though I didn't play My Time at Sandrock as much as I've played Coral Island, I will always still prefer My Time at Sandrock, and I think that game is a flippin' masterpiece. First, it's fully voice acted, and it has this intricate lore that's linked to My Time at Portia, and now it's gonna be also connected to My Time at Evershine, which is the next game in the series, which I cannot wait to play. I love the new setting here. You're in a desert where water scarcity is very real, and there's a storyline involving Logan. I know a lot of you know him. So if you like the haters to lovers arc, that can happen here. I know it's not spoilers, you see him in all of the trailers. Even fishing gear works differently compared to other farming games. Mingling with the various love interests has its own mini games and a fun dating system. You can work on your farm, but the majority of your focus is on gathering resources, crafting them, and then turning them into various machines. You also take part in commissions to become the best builder in town. This game has so much to offer. I am always recommending it, and I am just putting it on hold. I don't want to play all of it and finish it until My Time at Evershine sees a release date. But also, I wanted to let you know that we're throwing a giveaway in this video. I just didn't want to announce it in the beginning of the video. I don't want people to stay here just because of the giveaway. So let's keep it a secret and not really talk about the giveaway in the comments. Thanks to Marvelous Europe, we're gonna give away one Steam key for Rune Factory Guardians of Azuma. I'm so excited for you if you're gonna win the key and play this game for the first time. All you gotta do is leave whatever comment you are going to write in the comment section and just put the bubbles emoji. And after a week from releasing this video, I will comment on the winner's post and let you know know that you have won and let you know what the next step should be. So good luck to you all. And with that said, let's move to the advanced games. These ones are pretty difficult to get into. They do things very differently. They might make you pull your hair, but I think they're still fun if you give them some time. I wonder if it's okay for me to cheat because we're gonna add an extra game. Like, I'm combining 2 in here, so we're gonna end up with 21 games that I recommend. I'm pretty sure you're okay with that. Let me combine Kinseed and Seren Fate. Why? Because both of them are gonna kick your ass. Kinseed is a farming RPG where you're essentially raising your own family. You can run your own business, craft items, and take on some pretty difficult bosses in turn-based combat. This game is set in a dark fantasy world, and your legacy is gonna carry on from generation to generation. You can customize your farm, run different businesses, and the villagers will remember how you treat them, so be careful. It has a lot to offer. I could talk about it for a long time, but we've been here for a while, so let's talk about Seren Fate next. This is a game that clearly warns you right from the start that it's very difficult, and if you're looking for a peaceful, relaxing experience, this game is not it. You're gonna need to read the text, and there's a lot of grinding involved. However, if you're willing to push through that, it's very easy to get addicted to the loop of exploring, combat, and the sheer amount of content on offer. That said, it can also feel boring if, again, you're not willing to put in the work. I would say pick up both of these games when they are on sale, so that in case you don't enjoy them because they're pretty difficult, then you know you didn't pay the full price for it. Medieval Dynasty is perfect if you enjoy a more realistic game because, as you can see and you can immediately tell, the graphics are very different from pretty much all the other games we've talked about today. You're building your own dynasty from scratch, and you need to make sure that your reputation is heading in the right direction. You also have to ensure that you have an heir so that they can take charge after you die. You can hunt animals, farm, and build, and you're free to enjoy the open world either by yourself or with your friends. There's an emphasis on realism, from the day and night cycle to the weather systems and how immersive the environment feels overall. There's also a skill tree where you can improve different abilities and plenty of quests to take on. This one has a lot to offer, and I feel like the developers did their best to keep working on it and has shaped it to what it is today. Graveyard Keeper is another difficult one because it doesn't hold your hand at all. And usually I'm not a fan of games like this, but somehow this one, it had me in a chokehold. Even the names of the days are different from any other game on this list, or like even like life in general. Like, you don't have Monday, Wednesday, Tuesday. They have their own naming system. And if you haven't guessed, well, this game is literally about you taking care of a graveyard. There is a talking donkey in here. It doesn't take itself seriously at all. The humor is very dark. If you've played Bandle Tale, the crafting system is somewhat similar. It's from the same developers, but I feel like Graveyard Keeper is far more intricate, but still more worthwhile than Bandle Tale could ever be. This is a game where you need to embrace not knowing how to do things, getting lost at times, and sometimes just use the flippin' wiki because you just don't know what to do. Again, I usually don't like games like this, but somehow this one, I just had a great time with it. Some people will call it Stardew Valley with dead bodies and zombies, but I think that is doing it a disservice. It has nothing to do with Stardew Valley. Like, the only thing they share is farming and fishing, like this very basic mechanics. This one does its own thing. It's so silly yet fun and addictive, and if you're willing to give it some time and love, I think you will fall in love with it. Veil of Dust is another farming RPG that's very story driven, and it leans more into survival. It features 7 emotional story arcs, each focused on different themes like love, grief, purpose, and struggle. You'll be farming, foraging, hunting, and crafting, and you're trying to endure life in the deserts of 1860s Oregon. There are mysteries to unravel, but you need to make sure you're well equipped for combat, otherwise, trust me, you're gonna regret it. You can build relationships, cook, and craft. The game is fairly straightforward, but then also it's an experience that has you on your toes, and your heart is gonna be racing when you're exploring and doing some stuff. Slow Living with Princess is one that I play on and off, and there's just something about it that keeps pulling me back. You've been banished and decided to open an apothecary, so you're running a shop that requires ingredients, and this is where farming, gathering, fishing, and defeating monsters comes into play, because like many other games here, you use the materials you collect to make food and medicine. Similar to Story of Seasons Grand Grand Bazaar, you also need to raise your apothecary's rank. I will say the game is pretty grindy, so if you're not a big fan of inventory management, this is probably going to be an issue for you. So because of that, I would say it's somewhere between intermediate and advanced, but I would recommend picking it up on a sale. Well, what about the games that you should avoid? Before we get into that, hello, you gorgeous human being, it's Miss Bubbles. If you're here so far, then I assume you're having a great time with this video. I hope you found some nice farming games that you're gonna dive into very soon. Squish the like and subscribe buttons because they help out a ton. So let's start with the games that you should not play. Number 1 is Brookhaven Grimoire. This one dresses itself as Stardew Valley with magic, but it is not that whatsoever. I have a before you buy for you, so I'll leave it for you in the pinned comment. And in that video, I tell you about all of my issues with it, but overall, it's a buggy mess, it's boring, and it doesn't add anything fun to the table. Number 2 is Hoko Life. It's another one that I have a before you buy for it, so I'll leave all of these videos in the pinned comment. But I feel like it was a hyped up game for a lot of us because we were craving more games like Animal Crossing. Yet the villagers are creepy and the crafting is boring and the game overall is very dull. Number 3, oh my god, Tales of the Shire. It brought me all the agony and misery to play and review. The pacing is way too slow and it doesn't feel satisfying whatsoever while playing. I did not enjoy the cooking after a few trials, the story did not hook me, the performance was abysmal on the Switch, and the game itself felt directionless and overall boring. Number 4 is Harvest Moon Home Sweet Home Special Edition. This one is from Natsume. I cover more about who Natsume is and who Marvelous is, that because you have to be aware of this. But anyways, it's pretty much ripping you off of your money. It got ported to PC and Switch after being a mobile game, and man oh man, is this a snooze fest of a game. Everyone looks like distant cousins. After 10 hours, I just couldn't do it anymore. These 10 hours are forever gone. The dialogue was repetitive. You lose stamina when running. The camera goes into this obnoxious top-down mode by itself when you want to farm. There's just so many issues that I needed an entire video to make for you so that I can break it down. Number 5 is Sugar Dew Island. The game ran horribly on the Switch. It even crashed twice while we were streaming it. And I should have realized this at the time, but moving forward, this is gonna be a big red flag for me. If a developer is so keen on letting us all know, guys, you know, taper your expectations, this game is cozy, don't expect too much, yeah, this game is probably gonna be a snooze fest, and I'm gonna be aware of stuff like that moving forward because, yeah, this one proved to be a shallow mess. I ranked 53 of the cozy and farming games that I played in 2025, so watch this video next because you're gonna find lots of really great games. Thank you to my Patreon and YouTube bubblies who make videos like this possible, and a shout out goes to The Game Dimension, Jake Logan, Stella, and Yugoslav for going the extra mile. Until next time, stay bubbly.